Hi, Patty Stalker here from WestfordCAT. We're starting a new series at the station, which will focus on regional artists that are scheduled to display their work at the Parish Center for the Arts Artist of the Month exhibitions. I recently spoke with Nancy Rich, a seasoned and talented photographer from Natick, Massachusetts, who has exhibited extensively throughout New England. In 2016, Nancy retired from a long career as a school administrator, but did have a 208-page book published of her photographs of small wooden boats. I asked her why she decided to focus on the iconic dinghies.
I just think they're gorgeous. I think they're emblematic of New England. They've got so much character. The sad thing is it's very hard to find them now. They've been replaced by boats made of fiberglass and rubber and aluminum. And I understand that. Wooden boats are hard to maintain. They're expensive. They're heavy. But they're just so beautiful. And it's almost the more worn they are, the more attractive they are to me. They've got character. They really are, a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. So when I first started filming them, I did that. I started actually when I was taking a photography class up in Maine. And Rockport, Maine has a well-known photography school called the Maine Photographic Workshops. The name has changed at this point, but that's what it was back then. And there were lots of wooden dinghies then. So I found them pretty easily, and then it became harder and harder to find them. And my understanding is my book is the only such book that represents wooden dinghies. It's an historical record of them, and I'm proud of that.
You have an exhibit called Afloat, and Nor'easter Dinghies is part of that exhibit.
Right. So there are three different parts of the exhibit. One is the dinghies, another is called sea sculptures, and those are macro images of objects that have washed up from the beach. So macro means they're up close, very detailed, and like the dinghies, I find those to be very attractive. Anything that comes from the ocean has been polished. It's handled all these waves and being brushed up against rocks and sand. So it forms beautiful shapes, and it's a piece of artwork. That's how I view it. And then the third collection in Afloat is called Glass, Liquid, and Icecapades. So it's objects floating in water or some kind of liquid or frozen in ice. And they're mostly abstract images, but I think they really capture the eye and the imagination.
So let's talk about some of those. This one here, Tumultuous Seas.
That's one of the photographs I get the most questions about. What I like to do is get irregular shapes of glass, colored glass. I arrange them in a certain way in a container, and then I put water on them and I freeze it. And I take photographs of the image at varying points where it's melting. And that one looks like the ocean during a storm. I love it. Like I said, I get a lot of questions about that particular picture. It's probably my best-selling picture.
Okay, now this one, Colliding Worlds, looks like Saturn.
It does look like Saturn, and it's otherworldly. These are marbles made of marble. And again, I covered them with water, and then I froze them, and the ice formed wonderful bubbles in place, and it just looks like two different worlds colliding. And it does look like Saturn.
And this last one here, Yellow Red Grapes.
That's a combination of a couple things. There are petals there from roses, and I froze those petals, and then I submerged them in a liquid, a dense liquid, and then I also included some gels. They're like circular gels in the image that let the light and the color shine through of the rose petal, so it gives an interesting effect. So I call it Yellow Red Grapes. They're not grapes, but it gives the effect of grapes.
Nancy, let's talk a little bit about you, how you got started in photography, and a little bit just about your background. You're a retired administrator for a public school district?
An independent school, actually.
Okay.
I worked at Dana Hall School, a girls' independent school in Wellesley, for 19 years. And before that, I was at Dwight Englewood School for many years in New Jersey. And I've done many roles: head of the lower school, head of the middle school, head of the upper school, academic dean. I've been a counselor, a middle school counselor. So my entire career was spent in schools.
And how did you get involved in photography? So you retired in 2016, but
Right.
you had a book published
Right.
in 2009. So obviously you've been dabbling in photography for longer than since you retired.
It's been a hobby that's kept me sane in those administrative jobs. I've always loved my jobs, but photography was a great escape. I love making things, beautiful images, and sharing those with people. I got my first camera actually when I was 8. I got a Brownie camera, and my father had a pharmacy, and the pharmacy offered developing services for film. So I had easy access to developing my pictures, and that's where it started. And I've always done photography, but I did a lot of it beginning in the late 1990s. And my photographs of small wooden boats, on which the book is based, was a 10-year project that started in 1999.
So let's talk about the Clever Hand Gallery, the artist cooperative that you're a part of.
Yeah. The Clever Hand Gallery is in Wellesley. It's been around for over 45 years. It's been in that location for over 25 years. It's a wonderful place. There are over 50 artists who produce artwork. It's handmade work that they sell at the gallery. There are 23 members of the gallery. Those people work at the gallery, although now with the virus, things are switched up a little bit. It's a wonderful place to go to find one-of-a-kind gifts or something for yourself. And they have everything from jewelry to photography to textiles, woodwork, glasswork. It's a wonderful place to go.
So what are galleries doing, such as that Clever Hand Gallery? How are they handling the pandemic and shutdown?
It's very difficult. We're a small store. We are downtown. We have a wonderful location. The landlord has been helpful to us. He wants us to survive. We've started a robust online store, and we've had good sales there. So we're able to stay in business, and we hope that continues. And everybody should hope that continues. You want to support artisans, and you want to have the kind of artwork that, to give as gifts or to have in your own home, because it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
What is the website for the Clever Hand Gallery?
It's www.cleverhandgallery.com. It's at 52 Central Street in Wellesley.
And how about your website, Nancy? How can people find your work?
It's nancyrichphotography.com. I'm also on Instagram, Nancy Rich Photography. And my email address is nancyrichphotography@gmail.com, so it's all easy to remember.
Do you do commission work, or do you do portraits or anything like that?
That's interesting that you ask. I have been doing a really fun activity, and that is taking photographs, close-up macro photographs of food. So typically of fruits and vegetables. And I call it, actually on my website you can see it, it's called Kitchen Collages. And they're 5x7 matted and framed images that people can buy, for instance, of strawberries or eggplants or artichokes or beets or whatever, and make these beautiful arrangements in their kitchens over their stove or between door sills and window sills or on a wall. So I've gotten several requests for commission work on that, and I've done that all through the gallery. So if somebody's interested in that, they should contact me either through the gallery or my website. But to support the gallery, all the sales will go through the Clever Hand. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to support the arts. So.
Nancy, you are a wonderful photographer. You really do bring a lot of beauty into the world. I loved going through your website and looking at your photos and your work. So thank you so much.
It's to leave the world a more beautiful place. It's a goal I have.
Nancy Rich will be exhibiting at the Parish Center for the Arts in the near future. Look to the PCA website for details. And look for more spotlights on PCA exhibitors right here at WestfordCAT. I'm Patty Stalker. Thank you for watching.